As a political organizer, Chokwe Lumumba served for years as vice president of the Republic of New Africa, an organization which advocated for an independent, predominantly black government in the southeastern United States and reparations for slavery. He also helped found the National Black Human Rights Coalition and the Malcolm X grassroots movement, and worked with the Jackson Human Rights Coalition to help pressure the state of Mississippi to retry the person who murdered Medgar Evers. In 2009, Lumumba was elected to the Jackson City Council. Chokwe Lumumba, mayor-elect of Jackson, Mississippi, joins us now from Jackson. Welcome to Democracy Now! Congratulations on your victory. What do you attribute it to after all these years, and why did you decide from being involved with grassroots organizing for so many decades to get involved with electoral politics?
Thank you for having me, and shout out and thank you to your listening audience. I attribute the victory that we had to this last week to the people of Jackson, who were more than ready to have leadership that was forward-looking and ready to raise Jackson to a different level of development, ready to embrace the ideas that all government should do the most to protect the human rights of the people in that jurisdiction. And we were very pleased with the outcoming of people to vote, with their participation, and with their continued support. I'm now running for the mayor, or have in fact won the mayor of the city of Jackson, because I think it's necessary. We are a population here now in the need of a lot of development. Development is one of the tracks, or one of the roads to human rights and to the recognition of human rights, especially our economic human rights. And some of that development is going to take the kind of leadership and the kind of consistency that we had in the struggle for voting rights and other kinds of rights, which has been unique to our history.
Well, Chokwe Lumumba, I'm not sure that many people around the country understand the symbolism of Jackson, Mississippi, as a center of racism and racial oppression over over centuries. The very name of the city was named after Andrew Jackson by the white settlers when Jackson in 1820 was able, as an Indian commissioner, to basically pressure the Choctaw Indians to give up 13 million acres of land and move to Oklahoma in the Treaty of Doak-Stand. And that's why the white settlers named the city after Jackson, because of his success at ethnic cleansing. And then, of course, its history throughout through slavery and Jim Crow. How did this change occur? How were you able to put together this coalition to be elected, given your history as a radical and an activist in the Black liberation struggle?
I think it's a tribute to our consistency. It's a tribute to our refusal to say that we would bow to the oppression that was around us. It's a tremendous story of our people. You talked about Medgar Evers, but the continuation since Medgar Evers, fighting against oppression, fighting against economic oppression, fighting against the kinds of things which have surfaced in our decades, which are similar to the kinds of things you cite in the distant history of Jackson. We have been persistent, and with that persistency, our people now are ready to move to a different level of development. And I should say that people should take a note of Jackson, because we have suffered some of the worst kinds of abuses in history, but we're about to make some advances and some strides in the development of human rights and the protection of human rights that I think have not been seen in other parts of the country. And I want to caution folks that we got to be careful now when we talk about any one particular place in the United States. All over, we've seen intense oppression. I'm from Detroit initially, and we've seen a lot of oppression there, historically as well as currently. New York has certainly seen its share. Washington, D.C. has seen its share. So we don't want to be like people on different plantations arguing about which plantation is worse. What we have to do is to correct the whole problem And we're about correcting the problem here in Jackson, and we're going to be inviting people to come here, and people want to come here in order to participate in this struggle forward. And this is not a phony struggle. We're not just putting a false face. We tell you we've had real problems. We still have some real problems, but we're solving these problems, and we're going to try to solve a lot of them through economic development, which is going to involve the masses of the people, not just a few folks.
Can you tell us about your platform and the Jackson-Kush plan?
Well, the platform is to advance the ideas of development and to advance the ideas of empowerment of the populations which exist in the city of Jackson specifically. We have a population, a demographic here. 80% of the population is black, about 20% is white, and we have with us brothers and sisters who are East Indian origin, as well as some Asian and some Hispanic folks coming in. Our slogan was one city, one aim, one destiny. And the idea is to blend these populations into a struggle forward. There are some people historically who have always tried to separate the populations and to have a certain portion of the population oppress the rest of the population. We're not going to tolerate that. We're going to move ahead. We're going to let everyone participate in this movement forward. We're going to invite everyone to participate in this movement forward. And we have formed like a people's assembly. That's key to what we've done here, where we have every 3 months, the population can come out and participate in open forum to say what's on their mind. They can come out and learn some of the problems that the city is facing and some of the solutions that some of the problem solvers are supposed to be offering. And this will bring about more public education and political education to the population of the city, make our population more prepared to be motivated and organized in order to participate in the changes which must occur in the city of Jackson in order to move it forward. We say the people must decide. Educate, motivate, organize. That's the slogan we use, right?
And in terms of the city council as well in Jackson, were there other folks who ran on a platform with you, and do you expect much difficulty in getting measures passed through your local city council?
Well, no. I think we're going to do quite well. And let me say that there's only one other person who actually ran from the same basis of organization that I come from, which is the Malcolm X grassroots movement. She was not successful in winning the election, but we have really a pretty good city council. I mean, a very good city council, I think, has come into place. We got 3 young men on the city council who are in their 30s, bright, forward-thinking, very progressive. We have an older brother who is an old school teacher, and he is a person who I think is going to make a contribution to what we're doing. We have a person from Ward 7 who is a white Democrat, and she has always been consistent in supporting a forward movement. And we have one Republican on the city council from Ward 1. And he is a person who I think understands the political climate and is going to move forward too.
Chokwe
so I think
Lumumba,
we're going to be all right.
We just have 30 seconds. I wanted to ask you quickly about the news in this past month that Assata Shakur has been the first woman to be placed by the FBI on the terrorist list. You represented her decades ago. Your thoughts? They've also increased the bounty for her. She took refuge in Cuba to $2 million.
Well, I've always felt that Assata Shakur was wrongfully convicted, so she shouldn't be on the wanted list at all. She never should have been in prison. She was actually shot herself and wounded and paralyzed at the time that the person who she was convicted of killing was shot. So she obviously couldn't have shot him. And she also was arrested, which caused the incident, for about 8 different charges, which she later was found not guilty of or were dismissed. So I think it's unfortunate Sauda Shakur, I believe, will historically be proven to be a hero of our times.
Chokwe Lumumba, we're going to have to leave it there. Mayor-elect of Jackson, Mississippi, thanks for joining us. I'll be at the 92nd Street Y tonight with